Just waiting for people to arrive. So this live session is going to be a lot more different from last time's. Last time I was performing a ritual for you all as an audience to witness and get ideas from, to know how to integrate more rituals, especially to do with the moon, into your regular lives, if that's what works for you. But my main aim recently has been to help people to remember their divine authority, to remember their inner wisdom, to bring back with clarity the gifts that exist within all of us, especially your own psychic gifts, your own ability to trust the inner guidance, your intuition. So I have oracle cards with me today that I'm just going to be shuffling and sorting. And I'm really going to rely on audience participation here to be able to have someone open up so I can connect with your energy and connect with your spirit guides to hear what message needs to come through to you, just like in a regular reading that I would do. This will be, because it's so public and I can't connect in an intimate space with you, it's going to be surface level reading, but it's still valuable because my main focus here is to get you to, before I tell you what the card is, interpret with your mind's eye what the card is. See if there's any images, symbols, colors that come up, words that come up before I even tell you what the reading is. So, whilst I'm waiting for people to join, let me start off with just showing you the cards that I have available. The one that I really want to use in this session is the Adinkra cards, and Adinkra symbols come from Ghanaian culture in West Africa. And I know somewhere in my lineage I have Ghanaian roots, so this will be really helpful to connect with my ancestors as doing this reading. So these are examples of some of the symbols in this pack. Each symbol represents something. Hello, Arthur. I'm glad you have joined. Okay, I'm seeing lots of people join now. Great. I was just saying, talking out loud, that I really need you guys to interact with me because I want you to be open to receiving a reading. So I need people to be up in the chat saying, hey, just as you are, hi to Arthur and to Oaks the Beast. And I cannot really pronounce what the last one is, but hello. Yes, I need your engagement. Stop, talk to hand. Okay, so anyone who is open to receiving an oracle reading, let me explain what an oracle reading is for anyone who doesn't know. I'm just curious. So an oracle reading, oracle is to do with someone who is able to connect with spirit, sometimes to be able to predict something in the future that's going to happen for someone, sometimes able to connect with people's ancestors, acting like a medium. So that's what I'm here to do, because I normally am able to, when I'm like meditating and intentionally connecting, I'm able to connect with spirit guides, with other people's deceased loved ones. This is like something that I've been practicing for years, and sometimes it comes to me through words, images. I can smell the scent of the person being present, or yeah, a felt sense, just a tingle all over my body, so I know that the person is present. So what my aim is here is to be able to interact with you live, anyone brave enough to be a volunteer, able to say, oh yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot. Whether you believe in this stuff or not, just be brave, put yourself out there, and let me connect with your energy so I can see what your spirit guide wants to let you know. So when I've done readings for people before, sometimes I've been able to use cards. So I'll just give an example of a pack of the cards that I want to be using now. These are Adinkra cards that have Ghanaian symbols, and they all represent a theme in life. But there's also Moonology cards. So this works more with the moon and what the different signs of the moon represent. This one is really helpful because it gives you a very clear message on what your guides want you to focus on next. So for example, a direct message, this one says it's time for you to take a breather, to really focus, slow down in life if things have been too fast paced. This one says to go wild, that maybe Spirit is telling you to take more risks and put yourself out there and do a brave thing. So I want to be able to select someone who's brave enough to take the plunge and put themselves out there and be open. Connect with your energy, really focus in on what your specific spirit guides want you to know. I'll go with it, whichever cards that I have laid out in front of me, whatever I feel pulled to. Pick a card. But before I tell you what the card is, I really want you to then focus in on what you think your guides, the images that are coming for you. So for example, I did pull this card, for example, but before I would show it to you, I would ask you, are there any images, any words that are coming out to you before I reveal to you what card I've picked? And if you happen to say, oh, I see a lion, then that's a way of practicing your own intuitive ability. Because I think we all have psychic and intuitive abilities. It's not just one person who's special. We all have this gift, but a lot of us have lost this because we're so used to looking outside of ourselves for answers. But if we just try to trust our intuition more, turn inwards, trust the niggly feelings that we get, like if something just doesn't feel right, or if something feels like you're being pulled to this certain situation or person, that's your intuition talking to you. And that's what I want us to strengthen so we can become more confident and trust ourselves so much more and less likely to be influenced by all the noise out there. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to be brave and say, oh yeah, try me. But in the meantime, I'm just going to play with the cards, show you guys what cards I have on offer and discuss them. There's so many different oracle cards that exist out there. It just depends on what you feel more pulled towards. So I have the Moonology ones that I showed. I have the Adinkra cards. I also have the African Goddess Rising pack. And that doesn't necessarily mean this has to be cards that's only given to females, because this can be for anyone. The messages are really powerful in this pack. They're very simple. So a lot of the time, if I've picked a card, it might just say a sentence, like in the Moonology ones that I showed you. It might just say a word, and it might be hard for you to understand what that means, but I'm going to translate it a bit further. But as I explained before, I can give a surface level reading in this space because it's not an intimate space. Usually when I do in-depth readings, they're one-to-one, and yeah, it costs more to be able to get that. But at least I can give you a surface level touch on what it is that Spirit wants you to know right now. So we have in the African Oracle cards, one that I see comes out a lot is shine. And not only does it say the word at the bottom, it also says the name of the specific African goddess that represents this element. So this one is Mama Jumbo, and there's more I could read about this specific spirit. There's lots that I don't know yet, but from what the card is showing, this is all about encouraging you to show your inner light, be brave, step out into light. A lot like the Leo sign, go wild. But this one is coming more from a sense of vulnerability I'm feeling. Like it takes a lot of bravery to show up loud and clear to the world. And sometimes it's very scary to do that. Doesn't always mean that you have to show tears, but to actually speak your truth to people who you are scared to do that to the most, that's the best thing that you can do, because it releases you and it also shows that person that it is safe to be vulnerable. Even if it's a person that you don't really like that much, sometimes they need to be shown the truth, because they need to go on their own journey to realize that they need to do their own sorts of self-expression. We also have another card. This one is, and it's very clearly Medusa, and this one is called Rage. And this is a concept that I've been going over recently in my videos, my YouTube shorts, about rage and anger and how powerful anger is. And a lot of people have their own relationship with anger. Some people run away from anger because it's too scary, or it reminds them of other people in their lives who have shown anger in an unhealthy way. But this card is all about using your anger as a powerful tool to stand up for yourself, to understand what needs healing, what needs releasing. You can turn your anger into art as long as you're getting it out. That's the healthiest thing you can do, rather than let it fester in your body and turn into some sickness or disease. So that card talks a lot about rage, but in a healthy way. There's so many different cards here. I'm not going to go through all of them. In case there's one that needs to come out to a specific person, we can save that one. Let's have a look at... So I'm still waiting for any brave person to say that they're open to receiving a reading. People have been coming and going and joining the live, but any person who really feels that they need to receive a surface level reading, we're not going to go into detail about your life because this is public. It's just for you to say, hey, I want a reading. Then I'm going to focus on your energy and see what the cards have to tell you. I also have some crystals as well, which I'm interested in, like a few crystals, not loads. I'm interested in if I feel any guidance to saying this is a crystal you need to focus on. This is the energy of the crystal, because crystals are very healing. So let's show you the other pack that I have in front of you all. There's one that's coming to my mind right now. So there's another one that's coming to my mind called The Crumbling. I'm just going to try and shuffle to find it. But it's similar to the image I'm seeing here about what doesn't align in your life. We've been going through the year of the snake from February 2025 to, we're still in it right now, up until not 2026, we're in 2026, up until February this year. So that year of the snake has been all about shedding and releasing, and shedding anything that does not align with your highest good. So if there's anything that doesn't fit into making you feel uplifted, making you feel like your true sense of self, then it needs to fall away. And that's a card that is still active right now, because we're still in that energy of the snake. But it's a sense of crumbling. I found it. So the crumbling. This is an energy that I'm still feeling is needed right now. What else needs to fall away? What else is still hindering advanced levels of growth that needs to be pushed through to the surface? As you can see in the card, there's these dark like barriers in the way of the beauty that hides underneath. And that's what we've really had to see happening in our lives, a lot of us, in the past year, with like different friendships falling away, different jobs, different like being moved to different locations, all these things falling away, but it's all necessary for the powerful beauty to come through on the other side. It's a scary process, but it is so important. And that's what the Year of the Snake has been about. The fire horse energy is going to bring a whole other energy that I've been reading a lot about, which is going to steer us into spaces of being seen in ways that we've never been seen before, into leadership, into taking risks, into assertiveness. So yes, we have to wait and see what that energy brings. But yes, I keep seeing people like numbers going up and down of people viewing. Anyone who is interested in receiving a reading, please hop out in the chats. Say, let me just go for it. It's actually really interesting when you receive a reading, because I'm not going to tell you this terrible thing is going to happen in your life, because that's not what a reading's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be that we connect with your spirit guides, we hear any messages that are going to confirm something, that are going to reassure you, that's going to give you inspiration, motivation, that's going to wake you up to things that you're not aware of. So this just takes you being vulnerable enough and open enough to let me do a reading for you. So anyone who's joining the live now, if you want to receive a reading, please put your hand up in the chat and let's get into it, because this is the stuff that I love to do. If you've ever received one before, then you have an idea of what it might be like. Although every person who does a reading is different. If you've never received one before, don't worry. It's just a way for you to get more guidance or reassurance about an area of your life. Because I'm going to ask you to focus on whether it's relationships, whether it's self-love, whether it's career. Someone's asking, are you a boy or a girl? I'm a girl. I'm a woman. I've cut my hair really short. But your name is invisible. Shh. So, yeah. Are you interested in receiving an oracle reading? Oh, thank you. Thank you about the comment. And would you like to receive a reading, or anyone else who's watching, an oracle reading where I pull a card for you? It's going to give you some guidance into your life. Anything that you need to know more about, anything. There's like, for example, cards aren't always what you think they are. Because in the past, I've pulled a card that said betrayal, and the person got scared because they thought, oh, someone's going to betray me. But the card actually asked her to look more about the way she was betraying herself in life, ways that she was silencing herself. So, yeah. Don't always take the card as face value. It's something that we can unpick and still reflect on in the days later. Okay. Someone has shared about their music. Amazing, being 15 years old and being an independent artist. That's a powerful thing. That's a very confident thing to be at that age, especially. So I'm still waiting if anyone else is up for receiving an oracle reading. Thinking about going through, or maybe I can talk a bit more about psychic abilities, intuition, if you're not ready for a reading yet. I'm going to decide, while I'm waiting for anyone to be brave enough to say that they want a reading, I'm going to decide to hold up a card, and I want whoever's able to feel the confidence to tap into their intuition straight away and tell me what colors they see. Because this is how we strengthen our intuition, just going for it and just making guesses, but guesses that are heartfelt and led from our gut sense. When I'm holding this card up, you can't see the image on the other side. You can't see the words that are on the other side, only I can see them. What, if you focus all of your energy onto this image here, is there any colors? Are there any words, any letters, any symbols, images that are coming to your mind's eye now? This is how we start to develop our psychic abilities, our own intuition. Focusing your energy as much as you can on this card. Are there any colors, any images, anything that you're getting about the energy of this card? Anything about the card that's making you feel a certain way? Drop a comment in the chat and let me know, because this is part of the intuitive work that I'm trying to get people to practice. What energy are you picking up on from this card alone? This is how we start to develop our strength and confidence in ourselves, by taking risks and just making guesses. By focusing all of your energy on this card, what is your felt sense? What are you getting from this? Are you seeing any colors? Any letters? Any images? To help, maybe wherever you are, whether you're watching this while sitting down or walking, take a breath in, hand on your heart, close your eyes and focus on all your energy onto the back of this card. What do you think? What energy are you receiving from this card? Write whatever's coming into your mind into the chat. This is one of the ways that we can start to really trust our intuition. What are you seeing when you look at this card? What letters, what words, what images? Type it in the chat. It might be blurry, just go for whatever it is that you're seeing. I'm going to reveal it. No one has said anything, so I'm going to reveal it and hope that if you did make any guesses that you're correct. This card is all about inner reflection. It's all about as above, so below. So anything you're seeing in your external reality right now, it reflects something that is happening internally, whether it is that you're feeling pain and you're seeing and witnessing a lot of pain out in the world, or whether it is that you're seeing a lot of loneliness in the world, but you're feeling lonely inside, or whether it's that you're seeing a lot of beauty in the world and you're recognizing that beauty inside of yourself. Whatever is going on externally is usually a reflection of what is happening for you internally. This goes for when people say you are who you hang out with, like your friends. The people that you have surrounding you in your life are usually, or the people you feel drawn to, they're reflecting something, some part of you, whether it's a part of yourself that you don't really like or a part of yourself that you really want to get to, you want to become. So yeah, that's a really powerful card. I'm going to try the symbols because I think the symbols are very powerful. I'm going to hold up a symbol, and I want people to be able to be brave enough again to guess what the symbol represents. I'm going to assume that people aren't able to translate what this bit is. But when you look at this image, this symbol, are there any themes that it's making you think about? Like life themes. We have a circle in the middle. And we have a star. We have a larger circle surrounding it. And we have some I don't know how you describe these, but you have things going around like it's rotating. So what could that, just having a random guess, what could that represent? All of the symbols in this pack represent a theme in life. I will reveal it now. So this symbol, this Adinkra symbol, represents transformation, renewal, and growth. People may not have been able to anticipate all of those words, but renewal might have been able to be guessed because we have a circle, like a cycle going round and round. And whenever we have cycles, then that means that something new is coming, like a fresh start. And we're still in the first month of the year, so this is so perfect for this card to come up right now. And whenever we're in transformation and change, which is a constant thing in life anyway, there's a death that happens. There's release that we need to let go of, things that we need to clear away. But there's also hope for new blessings to enter as well if we're prepared for them and if we're open to acknowledge them and make space for them. So when people receive this card, it's very hopeful. At the back, there's a few words about transform your character, and that this represents a wheel, ever-changing, moving wheel. So whenever we're going through outer changes, like the other card, about what's happening in our outer world, it represents what's happening in our inner world as well. So whenever there is a change in season, in month, in date, time, whatever changes are happening externally, there are changes always happening internally as well. And that's a hopeful thing because it means we're never stuck unless we force ourselves to stay stuck by holding on to something that we really need to let go of. So that's a hopeful card if that's coming up for you. I'm going to show another card. But I'm still hoping someone is going to say, oh, I want a reading. At the moment, no one has been brave enough to say that they want a specific reading for themselves, which is what I want someone to say. Okay, this is an interesting one. Okay, I have another Adinkra. Actually, that might be quite hard to... I'm trying to find one that's going to be a bit easier for you guys to guess what it means, what it represents. Because some of the images, some of the symbols are very obvious. But let me go for the one that I first felt, because maybe it means someone needs to see this. So I try not to fight what I feel pulled towards. So yeah, this symbol, I felt very pulled to pulling out. It needed to come out. So maybe someone watching this needs to hear this message. Who knows? But before I tell you what this symbol represents, I want you to have allow yourself to receive any intuitive ideas as to what it represents. Just what that means, you need to take a breath to really tap in to your gut feeling. What sense do you get about this card? What do you think this one represents? It's not what you, like this image isn't so clear for you to guess. So just trust your intuition to have an idea as to what the message is from this card before I tell you. And if you're brave enough to have a guess within the chat, then please type in the chat what you think this image, this symbol could represent. Anyone have any guesses or any thoughts? Okay, I'll reveal. This card is about being humble. It says humility together with strength. And I had a thought about this message last week. Really, this message is about no matter how confident and strong you appear or you feel, like in anything in life, like career or like anything positive that's going on in your life, no matter how amazing you feel, humility is really important because you can't progress if you start to get arrogant. That doesn't really work with success. And there's lots of people who are rich who are arrogant, but that's not true success if they're starting to look down on other people, if they're starting to think that they're better than other people. So at the back of this card, it says that the swirls represents like a ram, like a bull, charging another bull. So demonstrating that their strength against each other. But even when there's strength being demonstrated, there still needs to be humility. There still needs to be a sense of being humble and grounded. It says even the strong need to be humble. So the reason that this card might come up for someone is because maybe there's areas in your life where you are very successful, where you're very strong and you're very confident. But it's a reminder to ground yourself in a sense of humility, to remember your roots, to remember where you come from, and to ground yourself in being able to give back to nature, being able to show your gratitude and respect for how you came to where you are now, not to lose yourself in the glory that is being demonstrated in front of you. And the universe will do its way of reminding you of staying humble. So yeah, that's another card. I believe all these cards are coming out for a reason. So it could be that certain people need to see these cards at right now, at this moment. I'm going to go for another one. Okay. Another symbol. I love how these symbols are like you can't tell what it's about. This is why you really have to try and trust your intuition. Anyone viewing who sees this symbol, what are your first thoughts that this is about? Okay, I'll just straight away reveal. It says a good marriage, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be someone who's married. It's basically saying a marriage is a sense of unity, a commitment, and we are all in a level of commitment to this life, whether we enjoy life or not. And what is it that really makes life or any commitment strong is loyalty, trust, honesty, security is needed internally for you to feel it externally in your existence, in your relationships. So the message at the back says love and faithfulness is found in a good marriage. So this applies again to anyone who's not married, anyone who is in a committed relationship with the earth, with life itself. Is there love there? Is there faithfulness? Is there loyalty? And love is love for the other person, love for the earth, love for the self. Because if you don't, as they always say, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? That's very true. If you're not able to feel a sense of peace and alignment within, then it's hard to be able to ground yourself and fully give loyalty that's needed in a relationship. So that could be really relevant for anyone who is questioning their relationships or their commitment to something in their life, commitment to work, commitment to, any people who struggle with commitment, then this could be relevant if you're reflecting on why isn't this thing working in life. Maybe it's because you need more love in yourself, so you can apply more love and passion to the relationship, to the career that it is that you're struggling with. So I'm gonna flip the camera and I'm gonna decide to do a collective reading, a live collective reading, because sadly people are not volunteering for an individual reading like I had expected. So I will do a spread in front of me, and then I will turn the camera so you can see the spread laid out on the ground. I'm going to talk out loud about what that spread represents and means for the collective. So anyone who happens to tune in, when looking at the spread, then you will be able to take on board anything that you hear me relaying. And then we will end the session. So I am going to ask, Spirit, can you please allow any viewers who come in to receive the message that they need to hear tonight? Anyone who tunes in, let it be that anything that I say is what they really need to hear in this moment, something that will provide them with reassurance, a sense of direction, a sense of guidance, that will turn on a light bulb and will provide a greater sense of clarity for what is needed moving forward. Amen. All right, I am doing a spread. The cards I feel pulled out to. So the way I do readings is that I shuffle and I trust what I feel pulled towards. Interesting what's coming out. I'm seeing a lot of the darker colors. Okay. So I'm going for a card that I'm seeing very clearly in my mind that I mentioned earlier. Okay. Okay, anything else that needs to come through? Interesting. Okay. So there's something that's coming up a lot right now in the cards. And I'm going to turn the camera around because there's a lot that's just come through right now. So this is a read for the collective that I get the sense that people in the audience need to see. And I've done readings for the collective before, but it's interesting that I'm picking up on this energy right now. So, yeah. What I've noticed in this live tonight is that people have dropped in and out. This happened before in the previous live that I did, but I got a lot more interaction. But I guess I got more interaction because the focus was on me and demonstrating something so people could learn. I'm getting the sense that, because this live, I was asking someone to be brave enough for me to pick them to do a reading, which would mean the attention would turn to you. But I haven't received that a lot. And I'm wondering if there's still like a need to hide behind the camera for a lot of people. Me being an introvert, I was like that a lot. I was like, oh, I don't want to be seen. But there's a huge like awakening that's happening globally where we need to push forward and we need to be seen, no matter how you feel, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. So I've just pulled some cards to do a reading, to get a read of the collective energy. And this is what I have felt and sensed. And I feel there's a lot of murky energy here, because I get the sense that if you were curious enough by the title of this live, that means that you are curious about this work, but not quite ready to delve in. So let me just explain what the cards are saying. The first image that I keep getting is I kept seeing like the eye is not being seen clearly. This says the universe, but what I was interpreting is that there's something that you're not willing to see clearly, like something that you're hiding behind. And I'm saying you, like this is a general collective reading. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I'm getting a sense that there's something that is still murky in the vision. There's something that is not wanting to be seen. And this is a act of self-betrayal. So this card is very important because when you look at this image, I mean, there's lots of people who love spiders, but there's lots of people who hate spiders and find them creepy. And it represents things that we avoid, things that we're not willing to look at, and things that we're seeing and interpreting as harmful but aren't actually harmful. And by avoiding and staying stuck and running away, that's an act of self-betrayal. So this card is really asking you, are there ways that you're betraying yourself? Because if there are, then there's ways that other people may be betraying you. Because as the other thing that I said earlier is, as above, so below. What you don't face internally will show up in your external reality. So, and it also could be feeling like you're protecting yourself by not looking. Like, as you can see, especially in this one, she's covering her eyes. This whole first layer of the reading is all about the eyes being murky and not seeing clearly. Something that is unseen that needs to be seen and revealed. And then we have this row, which goes a bit more deeper. There's a grief and like a death that needs to be let go of. And this links to the self-sabotage that's already happening because of the self-betrayal. It is an act of self-sabotage when you do avoid seeing the reality of things. And that's what needs to be grieved. That's what needs to be released and let go of before you can emerge and progress further. It's part of the crumbling season that we're still in, and the final point of the Year of the Snake. And there's something that you're not forgiving yourself for, because this card is upside down. This card is about soul forgiveness. And whenever a card is upside down in my readings, it means like it's the opposite of what the card is saying. So is there something that you're not forgiving yourself for? And by not forgiving yourself, by not releasing and letting go, it's keeping you stuck and keeping you blind to things that need to be revealed. This is what it looks like this way, but it came out upside down. And if you look at it, it looks really beautiful with all the flowers in the background. But if you're unable to see the beauty, what murky darkness are you living in right now? So that's not to make the reading negative so far, because it does mean when you're brave enough to do the work of releasing and confronting what needs to be confronted, this is when you can reap the reward, when you can actually feel pleasure and to open yourself to receiving pleasure. You can enjoy the beauty of life, because we can wish for and manifest lots of things that we want, but if we're not open to actually fully participating in it, then we're not enjoying it. We're not really receiving it. And that's where I come back to this message that came out earlier about a good marriage. And this is not about people who are married. This is about the commitment that we have to this life. If you are really open to committing to the joys and pleasures of life, that takes a level of love, self-love, and openness and honesty with yourself as well as with others. When we're able to go through the difficult phase here and reach this openness and this love, then we can fulfill a level of greatness and stay in a level of courage. Because if we're brave enough to do this work of confronting what we're blind to, that's when we achieve greatness. So this is what the spread looks like as a whole. So if anything did pull out, did stand out or trigger, and pay attention to that and see what that means for you specifically. All right. Well, I'm sad no one was open for a one-to-one reading, like an individual. Oh, that was not individual, it's public. Because I was really excited to do a reading for someone, but I understand if people are still hesitant, and if I haven't got enough of the following yet. But thank you for anyone who did take the time to message, just saying hello. Anyone who took the time to engage, interact, to watch and listen. I appreciate every second. If you are ever interested in having a detailed one-to-one reading with me, please check out the details on my channel description, because that's where I put how you can reach me on other platforms. Patreon is the best space to be able to learn more about my one-to-one readings, where I give a detailed listing of what types of readings I offer and how you can get in contact with me to book those. And so you can subscribe to my Patreon to get regular updates on all witchy things. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more witchy material, but also life lessons, because I was a therapist. So there's a lot of deep reflective life lessons that I get into on my video posts. And stay tuned for more future lives that I do, because I'm still going to come back again and again and again with new ideas and see what works. So thank you again. And yeah, I appreciate any time that you've given today. I wish everyone a good evening and see you next time, hopefully.